That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
Hey, Lord, I cracked you up.
I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me, I want to get into real estate, I want you to teach me all your, your business secrets, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
Katt Williams just dropped another bomb. Looks like he ain't done exposing all the crazy stuff that's been going down in the industry. Word is Katt has info on what the real connection between Diddy and Nippy is. I don't know how the Diddy trial is going to go down, but what I do know is we are going to get answers to a lot of this theories floating around, including what happened to Nippy. Now the question is, what kind of trap was Diddy really running that Nippy got dragged in? And how does Katt fit into the entire narrative? If you've been keeping up, you probably heard Lauren London's name pop up in Diddy's federal case. People are asking how she tied into all this, and why is she caught in the crossfire? But here's the thing, Lauren actually knew about Diddy's shady past. For years, yep, she knew what Diddy was up to and how he was treating Cassie. There have also been several unconfirmed theories that Lauren was one of Diddy's girls, just like Young Miami. So, after all this, isn't it crazy that she still went ahead and introduced Nippy to Diddy?
Hooked up with the biggest rapper at the time. Everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip. Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in LA. It was Lauren that brought Nip to him.
And it wasn't just Jaguar talking, either. Not even Nipsey himself confirmed it. Yeah, you remember, when he was on The Breakfast Club, he literally said, Lauren's the one who introduced me to Puff.
I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Cassie birthday in the streets, and several of Nippy's fans believed that Lauren wasn't just a ride or die girlfriend in the background, and played a much deeper role. Could it be that she was put there to keep Nippy in check? Some say she was Diddy's eyes and ears, controlling Nip's moves, making sure he didn't go off the rails. But it doesn't stop there. This connection between Nippy and Diddy turned into something real deep. In an interview, Diddy straight up said, Nippy wanted to learn from me how I did my business, how I made my moves. Y'all take note of that line, because we got to talk about how shady that sounds real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me, I want to get into real estate, I want you to teach me all your, your business secrets, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
Now fast forward to Nippy's tragic death, and people are circling back to those ties, questioning if Diddy's influence did more harm than good to Nip. And it gets way messier, because now we got Katt Williams out here, and he's not holding back. He claims artists like Nippy that worked with Diddy always had a bigger price to pay. I mean, let's look at all the artists that worked with Diddy and where they are. Cassie, Meek Mill, YKO, Cyrus French, Montana, Craig McDonaghy, Kane. Yep, all have their own horrific stories to tell. Folks are saying this whole Diddy mentorship thing is shady as hell, and with clips of Nippy and Diddy together resurfacing, all the whispers about Diddy possibly having more than just a business interest in Nipsey are starting to sound real loud. What are y'all doing, Lauren?
Cassandra! What are you doing? Want some blue dot?
In this footage, Diddy is seen licking his lips, zooming in on Nippy like he was admiring him, and Nippy seems to be unaware of all this going on, just innocently vibing to the studio beats. Y'all remember when Katt said he turned down $50 million 4 times just to keep his dignity? Makes you wonder what kind of crazy stuff was really going on. And yet he claimed Diddy tried to pull him into it, but Katt shut it down real quick.
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Aaron Howard said something similar. Diddy initially wanted a professional relationship, but that quickly changed and Terrence ran before things went crazy.
Hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. I'm sitting there, just looking at it, like waiting. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He was like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you notice to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach and you punch them in the mouth, threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction. It's a difference when a guy walks in the room and when a man walks into it. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man.
Now folks are starting to connect the dots, alleging Diddy might have been making moves on Nippy, and when Nippy refused, things got tense. As for Lauren and Diddy, the streets have been screaming. Old pics have resurfaced showing Lauren and Diddy looking real cozy. And the wildest part, Nippy's right there in the background, looking like a third wheel in his own relationship. After Nippy passed, Lauren did an interview with Angie Martinez, and that's where things went from weird to straight up strange. She said it was Diddy who helped her through the grief, which sounds innocent enough, right? But then she dropped a bomb. Diddy told her, look, you've shown everybody what it looks like to hold a man down and to love him. Now show them what it looks like when it all crumbles. That's your responsibility. Lauren casually mentions that Diddy called her Bouet. Nickname Nippy used to call her. Why would Diddy be using a nickname that was so personal to her and Nippy unless they had another type of bond? And that right there, folks, raised red flags. Now Nippy was out here doing his own thing, moving independently away from Hollywood politics. But Lauren, she had ties, she had access, and after she brought him around, Diddy disaster struck. Former bad boy insider Gene Deal came out warning about the danger of making certain requests in the industry. He talked about how Nippy once told him that he wanted his music to have the same energy as Biggie's Life After Death album. Let that sink in. For a second, Life After Death, the album that dropped right after Biggie got taken out.
Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got me. And he went on to sell about 10 million albums. Or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons. Because it just might come true.
According to Gene, that was Nippy's biggest mistake, because once Diddy got involved, it was game over. Nippy started spending more time at Diddy's mansion than in the studio, and that's when everything changed. It's like Diddy's grip on him got tighter, and suddenly Nippy's looking stressed, looking tired, acting like someone who just wasn't the same. Fans started to notice the shift. Maybe Diddy couldn't control Nippy, a smart, independent, revolutionary voice from the streets who wasn't about to bend the knee to Hollywood. Some say Diddy was trying to get at Lauren on the low, thinking maybe after Nippy was out of the picture, she'd be his next target. But let's keep it real, Diddy ain't never treated the women he dates with the kind of love he claims he didn't treat. Cassie, like a queen, had her under his control, and we've all seen the stories of their relationship. Kim, the mother of his kids, she passed after years of emotional trauma and mental stress, all allegedly due to Diddy's manipulative ways. So when people say Diddy was after Lauren thinking he was going to put her on some pedestal, nah, this ain't about love, this is about control. Word is. Diddy's grief game is different. When Biggie died, Diddy made a Grammy-winning tribute and then launched his solo career, straight up capitalized off the pain. When Kim Porter passed, Diddy turned into the grieving single dad, the spiritual family man, even though we all know he was out here doing dirt. And when Nippy passed, Diddy made sure to post about Lauren, preaching about healing. Sliding into legacy vibes he never earned. Every time someone powerful dies, Diddy knows how to center himself in the tragedy. So here's the question, was Diddy just trying to set himself up for another legacy moment? After Nippy was taken out, rumors got folks saying that he saw Nippy as an easy target, a pawn to build his legacy on. But even then, someone had to open the door for that. And many are pointing fingers at Lauren. As for Katt Williams, this coming long before the headlines, before the arrests, before the world caught on. He knew that the Diddy trap was going to get busted, not just the parties or the contracts, but the setup, the blackmail.
All catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. All lies will be exposed. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
I know so many things I shouldn't know. When I walk in a room, heads go down.
Trust the internet has a lot to say. One user bluntly put it, saying Lauren was set up to be with Nips by Diddy. Remember, she thanked Puff during the funeral. It's all about connecting the dots and seeing if people are willing to accept it. While this user wrote, Diddy did what he did to Big. He got on the album and planned his death to keep the money and royalties of the album. And with all the chatter about Diddy's violent tendencies and manipulation, fans are wondering if Lauren will ever testify in court. Was she a victim of the situation, or was she part of the game? And could Diddy have been behind what went down with Nip? Drop your thoughts in the comments, cause trust, this one's far from over. And if you're all in for raw troops and bold takes, hit that like, subscribe, and click on that next video popping on your screen now.